Picture this. You're standing in a quiet room that used to hold laughter. There's no argument, no goodbye, just silence. And in that silence, something becomes clear. You finally see the illusion you lived in. The idea that things would last simply because they once felt good. The people would stay because they once cared. But emotion is temporary. Memory isn't. Every connection begins with idealism. The brain floods with dopamine, the same chemical that fuels addiction. You mistake that rush for destiny. But destiny has nothing to do with biology. It's just brain chemistry whispering, "This feels right." The truth is, we don't lose people by accident. We lose them when reality finally catches up to the illusion. Regret isn't just an emotion. It's an evolutionary feedback system. Your brain stores every emotional high and low as data. When the outcome doesn't match expectation, the system replays it endlessly. Neurologists call it counterfactual thinking, the what-if mechanism. The same part of your brain that dreams also tortures you with memory. Every human, man or woman, is wired to evaluate loss in terms of value exchange. In relationships, that exchange is emotional security, status, validation, or meaning. When one side walks away, the brain of the other runs an audit. What did I give? What did I lose? What did I misunderstand? That's why regret hits when it's too late, because the chemicals that blinded you fade and reason finally takes control. Here's how regret works at the neurological level. First comes dopamine withdrawal. The brain craves the emotional high it once had. Then comes oxytocin inversion. The bonding chemical that once brought peace now causes pain in absence. Finally, the rumination loop begins. You replay moments, rewrite endings, reimagine conversations. Your prefrontal cortex, the logic center, keeps trying to solve something that can't be solved. That's why regret feels physical. It's not in your heart. It's in your nervous system. And if you've ever felt that midnight silence where everything seems to echo, that's your brain fighting a battle it already lost. You can see regret coming before it arrives. It starts small, a sudden curiosity about the past, revisiting old photos, old messages, old versions of yourself. You tell yourself it's harmless, but the truth is, you're not looking at them. You're looking for you. Case study 1. A man spends years trying to fix a relationship that was already gone. He thought persistence meant love, but all it did was delay healing. Case study 2. A woman leaves for excitement, only to realize later that peace was the rarest thing she ever had. By the time she understands, he's already a different person. Case study 3. The one who betrayed, years later, scrolling through old messages, not out of love, but to confirm they weren't the villain. Regret always disguises itself as nostalgia, but nostalgia is just memory wearing perfume. Society teaches us to chase freedom, not meaning. We're told to move on quickly, to replace, to level up. But emotional detachment isn't growth, it's avoidance. Modern culture rewards short attention spans, fast love, fast loss. No one teaches emotional accountability anymore. Instead, we drown discomfort in distraction. The conspiracy isn't out there, it's internal. We've been conditioned to believe that self-worth equals attention, that validation equals love. But the more we chase it, the less we find. There comes a night when your phone is silent, your friends are asleep, and you finally sit alone with the truth. You start to see patterns, how every choice, every impulse, every act of pride was driven by fear. Fear of being alone, fear of not being enough. And then it happens. The illusion collapses. You realize you didn't lose someone. You lost yourself trying to keep them. That's the real regret. Not losing people, but abandoning who you were trying to become. Every regret is a mirror, and most people don't like what they see. You'll hear them say everything happens for a reason, but that's just comfort for people who refuse to face cause and effect. The reason things fall apart is simple. Truth always demands payment. Every lie you live, every compromise you make will eventually invoice your peace. Regret is that invoice. Brother, the only way forward is stillness. You don't chase closure, you create it. You stop explaining what never was understood. Detach with dignity. Walk away not because you stopped caring, but because peace is more valuable than validation. Your healing begins the moment you accept what happened without rewriting it. You can't control the past, but you can control the meaning you assign to it. Regret will visit again, that's human, but this time you'll recognize it, not as punishment, but as proof that you've grown beyond the illusion. Sometimes the greatest revenge is to finally be at peace.